Boston in their prime.
What are we playing? Lounge 246, Stone Cold versus LeBron. A contest of world of sports. You got baseball. You got a baseball trade deadline. Lots of trades. What else?
Started yet, but we're quickly getting to the ramping up really, really, really quickly here.
Probably no show next week, but probably 2 weeks. We should probably do a first college football.
Probably on the 4th or the 5th hole or something like that. So it had started, and all the guys who were going to golf had at least started play. But I still got to watch quite a bit of it. I think the Tiger Woods aspect have certainly made it more intriguing and interesting because it had been quite a while since he had really seriously contended on Sunday in a major, and he had the lead for a while. And I remember just thinking oh man, if he does this is going to be a huge deal for a long, long time. And then I don't remember what shot it was. It was he had a shot that was supposed to land a chip shot over a bunker, and it didn't go. I don't remember the details, but ended up getting a bogey and kind of I don't want to say fell apart completely, but certainly fell out of contention fairly quickly.
It was 11th, 12th hole, some combination.
Short time frame, back-to-back majors over, 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. I don't think he's going to play terribly, but I don't think he's going to be on Saturday or Sunday within 4 or 5 shots of the lead.
It is in Missouri this year, the PGA Championship, and it is moving to the month of May next year. So it'll be the second major instead of the last major.
So they'll end with the British Open next year.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about this at all. They changed the golf schedule for next year to there'll be things all year long, but it basically ends. They're moving that FedEx Cup to end before football, before September instead of ending in September. And they changed some tournaments. I think PGA Players Championship is in March, I think it is. So it's March. April's your Masters. May is your PGA PGA Championship. June would be the
U.S. Open in June.
Yeah. And then
British Open in July.
5 months in a row, so you've got a major tournament, which I think is a pretty good idea. Maybe space them out more because we got 3 weeks here between majors, so we kind of space it out a little more on the front end, less on the back end. The FedEx Cup, I don't know anybody that gives a shit about that. That hasn't what's been going on for 5 years, if maybe longer, and I couldn't tell you who won any of them because they just don't matter at all. Nobody cares about it. So they tried to do a playoff thing, and that hasn't worked. So are these good changes, do you think?
I think they're good ideas. You always want to be careful with golf. That golf likes to keep a lot of things the same, kind of like baseball does. And I think it's safe to say neither of us are diehard golf fans, but certainly have a passing interest in it. But I think it's smart to get as much of the stuff done in spring and summer, which we would typically look at as golf season, and not have stuff, competing against football. And just when people and the echo's sort of there. It's different.
Different echo.
It's not as. Let's see how that is. I think that's better. That's good. But I like this idea. I think it'll be interesting to see. But I think so from April through August. That's a say. I guess there's the NBA playoffs in there too. But April through August essentially becomes the highlight of golf season. And just kind of, other than a little bit of the NBA, is essentially just competing against baseball.
Have you seen this basketball tournament on ESPN?
Is that the one that's called the basketball tournament?
Basketball tournament.
I've seen that. I've not clicked over to watch it yet. Is that the one that Jimmer Fredette's in?
Apparently, he's the one killing folks in this. His team, I think, won. They had late in the fourth quarter, so I think they probably moved to the semifinal.
It's in some ways it's sort of like the senior PGA Tour, kind of, for basketball though. That's kind of interesting.
Marcus, have you seen this basketball tournament going on?
No. No.
Or
it's like, well, coming off winter is probably out of the rotation now as well because Minnesota's winters are pretty fierce. So, I mean, basically anything in the northern part of the country is going to be out. And so I'm not as cool with that unless the U.S. Open compensates, but I just don't see that happen, I think.
Traded
to the Dodgers, that's right. And so his last appearance in an Orioles uniform was in the All-Star game. That's interesting and kind of a fun, interesting tidbit.
Like the big name got moved like 2 weeks before the deadline, and it happened during the All-Star break. So it's kind of, all right, this happened, and they moved on. So there wasn't much to do. Twins traded some folks. Hopefully they trade some more folks because they're sucking. Right? Fucking.
That their big guys have not delivered at all. I mean, either have been hurt or injured or sucked. So, to me, that tells you all you need to know about the fact that this team wasn't going anywhere. You know, he was not afraid to tell people, serious about extending me and that sort of stuff. And it's just like,
probably got if he gets on here.
Who was the guy from the 70s that was a great hitter that had kind of the goofy batting stance?
Rod Carew.
Rod Carew. Now, I don't know how long Carew played with the Twins versus where because he played other places too, right?
Played for the Angels mainly, yeah.
Okay.
Harmon Killebrew.
Harmon Killebrew.
And after that,
I'd say it's probably those three ahead of him. And I think you could make the argument that you could put Mauer ahead of Rod Carew because Mauer's played his entire career with the Twins at this stage. But I can accept the argument on Carew. Kirby Puckett has. I would say that Kirby Puckett is in the Hall of Fame. It's a little flimsy as far as like career numbers go, but he has the big plays in the World Series, a lot like Jack Morris, who's going in today.
Boo!
Not a fan.
Boo!
Not a fan. 126 pitches. Pretty good.
How?
It was like the Tigers for 15 years, the Twins for 1, the Blue Jays for 2, and
I feel like if he only played there for 1 year, he could maybe be top 10 because that 1 year was really, really good. I don't know if he can be top 5 though, so never mind on him too. Because that's what I was I was thinking that Carew played there longer. I was thinking that Morris played there longer. So I was going to say those guys were higher. But yeah, if they. So
I mean, Rod Carew had like 7 batting titles. I mean, his numbers are pretty much unimpeachable. So, yeah, he's
people are. You think people are?
Yeah, I think it's because, at least for me, I mean, you think of a professional franchise.
They just haven't had that many.
That's been there for a while too. I mean, this isn't like the Houston Texans, or something like that. They've been there for a while, or the Orlando Magic. That I would have thought more. I don't know. This one's flimsy, but just because I know he played there for a long time, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he was pretty good. The opening day guy a lot. What about Brett Radke?
For pitcher,
100 Gold Gloves, but wasn't really that amazing statistically, right? As a pitcher, so
if Jack Morris is. That's I don't know.
You could have told me you could.
The Twins, I know that much.
And then he did some killing for the Twins. I appreciate that.
Good old guy.
Yeah, I also like Jim Thome because he played for the White Sox for like 4 years and was really good there too. And that was when I was really following White Sox baseball.
He was always good.
A lot of time in the AL Central.
Yes, he did. Did you see the story about this Arizona fan? Arizona. The restaurant.
His demeanor.
It's on his record, but he's not serving jail time.
He will likely get more for this than Conor McGregor got, and he didn't get anything.
Yeah.
and they just turned it to the Big Ten Network, and it just snapped his brain.
I feel like we should have somewhat of a conversation about, and
about the cable and the cord cutting and the sports and how, sports are the only thing anybody watches live anymore. And I don't know, like it feels like we're going to get to some point, and I think we've talked about this before, that either Apple or Netflix or Amazon or someplace like that is just going to be like, okay, well, we're going to have this, and then we're just going to cut out all sorts of middlemen in this, and then you can just pay us. If you're an Amazon Prime member, then you can watch ACC football or whatever. I mean, I don't know if that's like 5 years away or if that's 15 years away, but it kind of feels like we're going to maybe get to that point.
I had that same thought, like today, let's use your example.
Have completely different streaming service things. And if you want to watch anything besides, like if you want to watch the Big Ten, you need to get Netflix, but that only gets you Big Ten games. And if you want to watch any other games, you potentially would have to get a different service for it.
It probably won't happen like that, but that is my fear, is that all the college sports are going to be, because they're going to go where the money is, even if, and so it's going to become, have a lot of money to shell out for these deals. So a lot of it's going to come down to ESPN Plus. I just pull it up on my Roku, and they have a lot of stuff.
You run the barbecue money and everything. That's
right. It's not. Don't act like you haven't.
Amazon or Apple or something like that, and I wanted to really test it. I feel like the first step would be, let's do it for, let's sign a 1 or a 2 season deal with the Missouri Valley or the Great West, or maybe even the MAC or the Sun Belt, a smaller one that you can afford. And if it goes terribly wrong, it's not that big of a loss, but that to work out some of the kinks and then say okay, if we want to do it to get a bigger conference, and this doesn't even need to be college football. I mean, this could even be for, the NBA or the NFL or something like that. But once we go through this and we work through some of these things in this small conference where, errors we make aren't going to be magnified as much. And just also, I guess, to kind of, look at the numbers and see if it's viable and feasible for them. I feel like that would be the first thing, is getting a smaller, cheaper, affordable one to kind of make your errors with first. Not a perfect example, but kind of like what the Big Ten did with the Big Ten Network, that they were the first one to take the step of let's have a conference network. And then after 4 years, when other conferences were like, oh shit, they're making a lot of money off that, maybe we should try that too.
And I mean, I
like to see like that.
Because if you're a big enough sports fan, the internet's not working, then you have no TV. But
that's right.
You're relying on that. And sometimes internet is not the best. So,
in sports, it's frequently 45 seconds or a minute and a half behind. So if you like being on Twitter and watching sports, that a lot of times you get stuff spoiled for you on Twitter ahead of time. So they either can't be on Twitter while they're watching it, or have to just accept that, you're going to get stuff ruined just by the nature of streaming. But like I said, that depends. Some people that doesn't bother them at all, but some people don't like that, I guess.
In the words of the great Michael,
do it.
A recently high impact all pro receiver who, I don't know, maybe he's lost a step, but it seems like he could still be good for someone. Even, I don't know, the Jaguars or the Bengals or somebody.
I'm beginning to think he fucking took a knee at the anthem mark.
Stan, I know you and I are. I think match game, I think, where there'll be 3.
That's going to be bad. I don't think they can handle 3 and a streaming guy. And if you've got, guy for this game.
Oh, yeah.
Depends on once, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Tell them I don't want to hear from you, Stacken, unless you're on the show.
Apparently, people are blaming the trade for the Twins' 2 losses here.
Here's the deal.
I
Here's the deal.
just don't get it.
It doesn't matter. Does not matter. They don't think that the Red Sox could have taken 3 or 4 from the Twins if they had Escobar, the doubles guy, and spin rate. Those 2 guys. If they had doubles Escobar,
I don't
know where there's
the next 10 days. So
6 interested at 9.
Major League or NBA team. We played
I
it once
like
before.
this.
We got some new names here. So.
I like this. Basketball or baseball, or do I pick a number between 1 and 18 and it could be either basketball or baseball?
Nope, you can go basketball or baseball. 1 through 9 each.
Yeah. The number 1.
Jim Thome.
That is not how he had it set up.
I don't know if this happened or not, but I want to get this ahead of time. If they do we're going to retire with this team, even though the season's over and we don't play for them, does that count or no?
Nope, you have to play a game.
The last team.
Marcus? Some more. Sean Marion. Noted beautiful jump shot, Sean Marion.
Dusby's 4th favorite player of all time. I feel like I remember him playing somewhere after the Suns. I think the Suns was where he had his most success. I might be getting him mixed up with somebody else. I'm going to say the Atlanta Hawks.
Cleveland.
No.
Do not
violates this for sure.
In your NBA tour anymore of all these old guys past their primes going to play with the Cavs.
Probably. That was a good little what a deal they tried to do there. Jesus Christ.
We didn't talk about John Wall. So
looks old.
That was amazing.
And yeah, he could still be doing that right now if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could.
Be like, you're only going to come in and pitch against a left-handed batter once a week. We'll pay you $600,000 a year.
And that guy
doesn't want to do it.
That guy would be like, "Are you kidding me?" He comes in to face 55-year-old Randy Johnson.
25 innings pitched, 50 strikeouts.
The Big Unit, by the way, what a great nickname. Just terrific.
The Big Dick, Charlie. Jackson.
Let's see.
That was number 9, baseball number 9.
Yep.
I know he played for the. I feel like at some point in his career he played for the Angels, so I'm going to say the Angels.
He did, but it was Oakland.
No.
He finished his career with the A's. I didn't know that.
It was 5 years.
So when he played with the Orioles, it was when Cal Ripken only had his high school baseball consecutive game streak going on.
3,000 games in a row. MVP in 73.
Be ill-advised, but I'm going to say the New York Yankees.
The Chicago White Sox.
Denver Nuggets.
He kind of started that because now you got KD, you got
Chinese, because like not a huge deal, but like a talking point for like 2 days. And I'm trying to remember who that was.
Big
because if he's coming off the bench,
Yeah,
it must have been the last team he played for.
I don't know all the big 3 teams. I probably couldn't name any of them right now, but one of those, a big 3 team.
Youngsters.
And said Denver Nuggets, folks.
Noted
for 5 deal. And I just cheesed out laughing at it.
Whoever made the original ones of all these good ones,
that's good.
Finally got on the board.
What was it? Charlotte, Miami. It was the 3-1 lead.
I can. I certainly can. Basketball number 4.
Rodman.
Oh shit.
Rebounder of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how the hell they played the game back then when everybody was scoring like 120 points and per game were there. Then he had one thing. Oh, he had a match with Randy Savage out in Sturgis in '99. Then he had one in Australia. It was from what, 96 to 99. Rodman and Randy Savage, and there was a Rodman Mr. Perfect match in Australia.
Equivalent of like
Draymond Green and LeBron James or somebody.
Well, neither of them. Well, yeah, one of them was the best player. So yeah, it would be. It'd be like Draymond Green and LeBron
Kevin
James
Durant
in WWE.
That's goddamn nuts.
But we have had guys, like current guys, do wrestling.
Like not with one.
And I don't say this. I'm not saying this to bring up bad memories, but I remember sitting in a house in Brookings where I had 6 other roommates, and at least like 4 of them were watching a Twins playoff game, and Frank Thomas hit like a home run, and the Twins ended up losing. And he was just furious. Like, I remember him like throwing stuff at the wall.
Went away.
I watched Moneyball again like 2 months ago, and that's very Billy Bean, at least from the movie. Let's get some old guy, squeeze that last juice of talent he's got left in him, and get a lot of walks.
I hate it. I hate situations like that where they won the World Series. He was on the team, but he didn't play. I'm sure he got a World Series ring, but he didn't really contribute.
I don't know if he played it like at all the whole. I don't remember if he missed the whole year or if he played at the beginning. But if he
34 games and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. And he came back the next year and it was great.
I was a millionaire for those one commercials where the girls make the sex jokes.
Dick pills or testosterone something.
Are you talking about the 2005?
Way to hit a home run.
Give him the 4 fingers.
He was the first guy that was really good when I was watching. That was like, or what do you call like a 5-tool player that he was good at everything. Where most guys were obviously not. They're good at a lot of things, but not good at everything. And it was just like, oh yeah. Also, yeah, there was a guy on second base, and on a base hit, he threw him out at third because that's how fast he can throw it.
And his kid appears to be good as well. Henderson, old bastard that was still good when he was old as shit.
Did you know that the field,
Dodgers?
Oh, interesting.
Do you have what? Oh my God!
Yankees, Oakland, Toronto to get a World Series. Oakland, Padres, Angels, Oakland, Mets, Seattle, Padres, Boston, Dodgers.
Oh man, I would have guessed.
Faded teams in baseball.
He loved the A's more than.
Oh yes. Oh yes. One baseball, a shit ton of basketball.
Basketball, number 6.
Tim Hardaway, noted bigot. Tim Hardaway.
Oh shit.
Tim Hardaway.
I couldn't tell you what team Tim Hardaway Jr.'s on right now.
Knicks. Boston. He got drafted by Boston in about 40 games. They said, fuck this guy.
He played.
Billups.
I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say the Denver Nuggets.
Detroit. He ended up with Detroit.
Detroit.
Basketball. Malice in the Palace.
Hit the fans in the face. Last one is Tracy McGrady. We're going to go to the Spurs. Didn't he sign with the Spurs and never played, didn't he?
Who?
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
McGrady.
All-time favorite Tracy McGrady moment. It was when he hit all the threes against the Spurs. It was my first year at college. We were playing poker in the lounge, like between Benoise and whatever that other dorm it's connected with. which none of us lived in either of those two spots, so I don't know why we played there. But that was when Yao Ming was there, and there were two Asian kids watching who English did not appear to be their first language. I'm assuming they were watching because they were Yao Ming fans, which makes sense. And there was a guy we were playing with who was a diehard Spurs fan, who the whole time was just like, it doesn't matter, the Spurs are better, they're going to win. And each 3-point shot, we started like egging them on more and more and more. And to the point that like us, along with the guys watching it, when he hit the final one to give them the lead with like 4 seconds left or whatever, just went nuts.
Those were good days. The days were good. When's the last time you were in Brookings?
Let's see. I remember going up to visit a buddy of mine who still lived there for New Year's Eve. It would have been, let's see. It would have been 2012 turning into 2013. So like January 1st or 2nd of 2013 is the last time I was in Brookings.
Here we go.
So it's been a while. Everyone I know in Brookings is gone now, except I guess Jason Hove. And it's not like I hate Jason Hove, but we weren't like super close either.
Anymore.
Yeah.
The big falling out, yes. No show next week. It's the 100th PGA Championship.
Coming up. Coming up.
In St. Louis, Missouri.
Who's going to win? Is this Italian guy that won the British Open going to make it 2 in a row? Probably.
We want Charlie play Stacken. Stacken, who do you like?
Well, I want the ratings to be good, so I need it to be Tiger Woods. That's my Stacken impression.
I'll take.
It's going to be Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson in that final round.
I always thought the Barracuda Championship was something that was made up. The schedule, I didn't think. I thought the Barracuda Championship was something that was made up. The championship was real.
Basically done with it. I don't know when it's college football related, so it might not be up for another couple weeks. I essentially redid the reason college football coaches are going to get fired.
Nice.
There are so many new coaches that it's quite a bit different. There are some that I copy and pasted, and it's the exact same thing for a few of them. But most of them are completely different.
Did you do this for our blog, and then this is the first time you've done it for the other one?
That is correct.
There we go. Look forward